Alright, so we recently just bought a brand new grapple bucket for the bobcat because we've been trying to clear out some trees and brush and needed something to pick up all the brush with. And most time, these have hydraulic lines, so you have your grapple bucket and all your hydraulics. So these have got to get attached to the auxiliary on the bobcat. And within like the first 5 minutes after you buy it and attach it and you go out there and use it, you tilt the bucket down, stretch the lines out, rip them apart, $500 in hydraulic lines, all because you didn't route them right. Or you can get them pinched in here and shear them off or all kinds of other stuff. So we went ahead and thought about that first, and we went ahead and made ourselves a bulletproof design. So we got 3 loops, super thick so they can take some hits and everything. And you just run the lines through them, and it'll pretty much make it pivot at the pivot point, so the lines will never move. They just stay at the pivot point, and that's just where they are. If you ever seen an excavator, it's pretty similar. But we just run them through there. A couple of them are pretty tight, but that's good because that means they won't have any play. So went ahead and smoothed everything out, made sure there's no sharp edges anywhere or anything, so it doesn't get caught or try to rip it. And it's always gonna have the protective sheath on there too. But if you look right here, once you put these through, you're actually, and then once you get them hooked up here, they'll sit right there, and they'll be down there at the pivot point. So when that pivots down, it's not gonna affect or pull on the lines in any way. It just pivots right at the point. So there's no possible way that could be ripped off. So since these are going to be up here and they'll sit right here, I've noticed with bobcat they come with a pretty sharp edge right there on that, so we went ahead and ground that down to where it's completely smooth where they ride, so it'll never wear into the hose since it doesn't have the sheath up here. And we ground down there too because it's always going to be pivoting right there, and we ground up here as well because it's going to be riding on that all the time. But let me go ahead and get these lines hooked up, and then I'm going to articulate it and show you how bulletproof it is. Alright, so we got it hooked up and everything. I'm going to show you how bulletproof this design is. And that's how you make your hydraulic lines bulletproof.